Hi, Scott Winters here from Ion Concert Media with another behind the scenes look at the creation of a film for sea creatures. We're midway through the creation of this visual music film. It was commissioned by the Wichita Symphony Orchestra for a premiere later this spring. Visual music is a video that's synchronized to the music. And in this case, the video we're making is meant to be screened live in concert, where the music is being played by musicians on stage and the film is there to enhance their performance. For this project, the music score is a piece called Sea Creatures by composer Daniel Kallman, and it'll be premiered later this spring in Wichita. And they have asked us to create visuals to accompany that performance. In my last video, we had a conversation with the composer, Dan Kallman, about the music. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about how a project like this gets started, how the idea gets hatched, how it becomes a fleshed out project, and then how that project is planned before any actual filmmaking begins. So the process begins with a phone call normally. I took a call from the Wichita Symphony Manager of Education and Community Partnerships, Tiffany Bell, and she asked if we would be willing to create a video to synchronize with their performance of Sea Creatures. And we said, absolutely, but let us do a little bit of research before we commit to it. So the first step then in deciding how the project is going to unfold is to actually listen to the music. Here's the opening to the first movement called The Depths. Can you imagine what visuals you would use to make a movie? So once that was all done, then we went through a contracting process with the Wichita Symphony to get everything down on paper, how it was all going to work. And then we went to work developing a concept. And when you're making visual music, it's not like Hollywood where there's millions of dollars of budget. These things are usually done on a pretty shoestring budget. In this case, we struck on the idea that a very economical way to secure content for the film would be to partner with the Wichita Public Schools. Having all of the students in the elementary schools in Wichita, I think it's 8 or 9 schools total, create drawings, create paintings and watercolors. And then what this, I think what this did, it did 2 very important things. It helped with the budget and it helped create some buzz, some interest in the film before the film was even done. And a big shout out needs to go to Marcia Scurfield, who is the art curriculum director, I believe would be her title, at Wichita Public Schools. She was the one who coordinated with all of the teachers in the middle of COVID. And then when the artwork was done, she was the one who took pictures of it and uploaded it so that we could have access to all of it. And then it's time to begin film creation. In a Hollywood film or in a like a Disney animated film, the concept of storyboard is actually like pictures drawn to kind of give a visual idea of how each scene is going to look, who the characters are, how they're positioned, and things like that. And everybody does it differently, but for me, a storyboard that's much more helpful is this concept of making notes in the music and listening to the music, studying the score, studying the phrasing, and letting the music dictate how the story, how the visuals are going to unfold, making notes about them here on the page. And then we start the process of turning that into a film. First, we need to pick what images work. And we did wind up with, we didn't do a count, but I mean, we're talking hundreds of images from the Wichita Public Schools. And then another part of the first steps in putting these images into a composition is deciding or figuring out how they're all going to work together in space. And here you can just see just a little clip from Adobe After Effects, where we're starting to lay out where those characters are, how the camera is going to be pointed at them, camera motion, and what lighting works best. So that's a pretty quick look at all of the planning that goes from the moment the idea is conceived to the moment that you get really involved in the film creation. As you can see, there's a lot of work that goes into that phase of the project. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. This film is set to premiere in mid to late April 2021.